ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां व्यासशंकरमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। So we are starting to look at this Guna Karma Vibhaga Yoga, or the study of the three gunas. As you've seen before, we have predominantly three gunas: Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. And every person has got these three gunas, because these gunas are belonging to the Prakriti. So all these gunas, they belong to the Prakriti. And there is not a single person in this world who can say that I don't have all these gunas, or I don't belong to this. The gunas are something which is attributed to the physical body and to the body maintenance complex. But the gunas do not get associated with the Atma, the consciousness. So here, what is discussed here is understanding the gunas, understanding what sort of, the mental disposition one has to have. So guna, you can call it as mental disposition. So sattva guna, they say, sattvic. It means, sattvam generally means it gives you sukham. It gives you happiness. And sattvika gunam is normally associated with, either it could be literature, it could be music, art, dance, Vedas, spiritual study, religion, temple, worship, prayer, rituals. All these are all sattvika, where it gives you some ananda, which is only for the specific moment of time. So even sattvikam also as a guna, it is binding. So happiness also is a vritti. So when you say vritti, means it's a thought. So a thought rises, and the thought, right now if you look at here in this class, we are all in the sattvikam mode. So sattvikam is very high. That means we are not rajasic. Rajasic means activity oriented. So a person rajasic, they say, it makes you do activities. It makes you run around. It makes you restless. So in a class like this, we are all seated nicely in one place. So we are not running around anywhere. We are not doing anything else. And we are quite relaxed. So, and we are listening, we are seeing things, we are reading things, understanding what the Gita talks about, and enjoying that, the Bhagavad Gita. So this is a sattvic attitude. So right now we are in sattvic mode, and next 1 hour or so, maybe 1 hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we will be in this mode for some time. So the vritti is rising, and we are enjoying this ananda. But this ananda, this particular vritti, will not last long. See, even within the 1 hour also, our vritti can come and go. Our anandam also can go. And you will feel sometimes restless. So you want to go and get a glass of water, or you want to do some checking something else. So there's a temptation for you to do that. And it is something which you cannot avoid, because till the mind gets settled completely, you tend to do multitasking. So some people are able to do multitasking also. They will check the newspaper, they'll check the TV will be going on. It will be on mute, so there'll be picture going there. Correct. So all these are possible to do. So Satvikam, it means like the vritti is coming and something is attracting your attention and you're interested. And then you focus more on that. Something doesn't interest you that much, or you feel the urge to do something else, then your Satvikam vritti goes and Rajasic vritti comes into there. So generally Satvikam, Rajasic, they can happen. And Tamasic vritti also can happen, provided you didn't sleep well before the class, or you had a very heavy lunch, or some food which you had which makes you very lethargic. So at that time, all these things can come. Satvikam will rise, and suddenly you'll feel that I need to go and get something to eat or get something to drink, water or juice. You go out. And then after that, you again feel very tired also. So all these things can also happen. But predominantly it is Satvik. That's why it says here, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat. So Tatra here talks about the three gunas. Tatra means here the three gunas described here are among these three qualities. Tatra, among these three qualities. Let us take first Sattva Guna. So Sattvam, Sattva Guna is of the nature of Nirmalatvat. So Malam means there is dirt or it is impure. And Nirmalam means it is pure. So it's supposed to be pure. So when Satvikam rises, there cannot be an impure thought arising, because one vritti is occupying your mind. So the vritti has to go first. The thought has to go first. Then another thought can come and sit in the place. Correct? You cannot have multiple thoughts sitting at the same time. One thought has to go, and the thought will stay for maybe half an hour, 40 minutes, or maybe sometimes even 10 minutes, 1 second also. Thought will disappear. Another thought will come and sit in the place. Then another thought will come, this thought will go. So it is like, if you watch the television serial in India, or I don't know here you watch or not, but in India when I go, whenever I see these people amused, they sit there like Satvikam mode for the chair, glued for hours and hours. So 6:30, like, including my mother also, sometimes I tell her, there's too much of TV going on. 10 o'clock they'll start TV, 10 o'clock in the morning. 1:30, all the serials will be there. This serial, that, I don't forget the name also. So only when I go to India, I remember that. When they see it. So the serial will come on, and they will be sitting on the chair. All the vegetable cutting will come into the chair only. All the food will come to the, so they will be, their whole life is around the table and the chair only. So all of them, any work we do, including cutting vegetable, including peeling vegetables, including sewing, whatever you want to do, everything is in there. So they are sitting there and their eyes are glued onto the TV. So there could be Satvikam, some Ramayana is going on, Satvikam will be there. At the same time, this activity is also going on simultaneously. So something is being heard and this also is continuing. So when something is interesting, hand stops. So the cutting stops and you glued listen there. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you watch these things, right, you see how the images in the screen, they keep going, right? So somebody is crying, somebody is threatening, all these things happen in the TV, the serial. So plotting going on, but the scenes just go, right? If you look at the images, they keep going in all the time. So Satvikam Gunam comes, very nice, discussion comes, you're interested. Then next moment, Rajasic comes, activity oriented, somebody is going to plot something, somebody is going to do something, then you're interested. Then Tamasic Gunam comes, when everybody is relaxing, etc. it comes. So the screen images keep going, But the TV, the screen itself, the TV where it's projected, does it touch the screen? It doesn't touch anything. The images which are appear on the TV and the screen, they seem to be moving. So they are the thoughts, correct? So they are the thoughts which keep going on the TV. And so does the glass, the actual screen, does it get affected by the Satvika Gunam? No. Does it get affected by the Rajasic Gunam? No. So when you switch off the TV also, the TV screen is still there. The same condition it was there 20 years ago, or whatever time you have got TV there. So the glass will still be same, and again you switch on the TV, again the images will start coming. So this thoughts also, Sattvic Gunam also, comes the same manner. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you get all these gunas. Sattvikam comes, and you want to get up, take bath, do your pujas. Sattvikam Gunam is rising. Oh my God, I have to do this. So, but sometimes the Tamasikam comes before. No, I don't want to get up today. So you just lie in the bed, don't get out. So all these things, they come in a particular random order. Sattvikam comes, Rajasic activity comes after that, then Tamasic also comes. But here it says Nirmalatvat, when I say here, this means this is fairly pure. This is not that it's 100% pure, but it is free from any kind of impurity. Because at that time, that particular thought is free from any modification. It doesn't have any other attributes at that moment. And thereby, it is able to reflect that truth. It's able to reflect or to project the correct perspective. Thereby, it is called Prakashakam. See the word? Nirmalatvat Prakashakam. So, first quality is what Sattva has got is Nirmalatvat. So, it is actually free from any impurity. Because when the Sattva Gunam is there will not be other thing will come. When this Guna goes, other Guna is possible. Raja Guna is possible, which we'll discuss next verse. So, at the moment, Sattvikam is there, and it is Nirmalatvat. Then Prakashakam, so it actually illumines. So it reflects the consciousness, it reflects the truth, and it is Anamayam also. Third thing is Anamayam. So Anamayam means without any affliction, it allows you to see without any confusion. Right? Anamayam means it's not affected by any confusion. So you're fairly clear. Whereas if you have got all the three things, then sometimes clarity will not be there. So Anamayam. So Nirmalatvat Prakashakam Anamayam. But all the three are nothing but an experience. So Nirmalatvat also, I'm having very sattvic thought, there is some very, very pure thought. It is also an experience. And I'm seeing things clearly. I don't have any confusion. Also is a thought, is an experience. So all these three, all nothing but of the same guna. So one guna, so one particular guna appearing as three. And all these three are coming and going all the time. But Sattvikam generally is supposed to be of the nature of Sukham. Generally, Sattvikam doesn't give you Dukkham. So Sattvikam is also Dukkam, Sukham. But it is also time bound. So any Sukham is time bound. It is not permanent. So thereby, you cannot rely on this Sattvikam Gunam for understanding what the truth is, because this Sattvikam will not be there all the time. It will come for some time, after some time it will go away. Then Rajasic Gunam will come, it will stay for some time, it will go away. Then Tamasic Gunam will come. So all these keep coming and going. So all of them are binding, because if you attach yourself to this kind of satvikam, that is why what we say is if you get attached to any particular lifestyle or particular thing, it is also sukham also it will give you, but the sukham also is actually not good for you, because it will make you long for it. So any longing should be avoided. So when you say avoided, it means what? You say if you want to attend a dance, or there is a serial going on, some katha kalasham going on, something discourse is going on. You have seen one and you like it, then you want to see every day, you want to go every day, every year, many years you want to go. And the person, if you don't go, then you feel, oh my God, I missed all these things, I was not able to go. So you should be able to live in a condition of when it is available, you enjoy. When it is not available, you do not feel guilty about it, you do not feel bad about it. So ultimately what we are interested in not getting bound by any of these things. That is why for Sattva Guna, Krishna says as Badnati. So Badnati means binds. So this binding is better than other binding. So if you are bound by Sattvic Guna, it is better than other things. So see, Sukha Sangena, see, Tatra Sattam Nirmalatva Prakashakam Anamaya. So you got that first three? And this three is of the nature of a Sukha Sangena. So Sangha means association and Sukham. So Sattvic Guna always bring you Sukham. It's associated with Sukham. But what does it do? Badnati. It binds. So any Sukham will also bind you. And we do not want anything to be bound. Correct? What do we want? We want to be a free person. We do not want to be bound by a situation where we're happy and we want to be always happy, because every happiness will bring you after some time sadness. Because the happiness which you are depending on is also not a permanent happiness. It is depending on object of knowledge. And an object of knowledge is always governed by the gunas. Correct? So if you are depending on a mango for happiness, Satya Guna, as long as you have the mango, you will be happy. Every day you will have mango. Supposing one day mango is not there and you get apple. You don't like apple. What do? You will feel unhappy. So for making you happy, what do you have to do? You have to get mango every day. So mango becomes your binding thing, correct? So you will, whatever cost you do, you will go and do mango. You have to buy mango. If it is not available, what will you do? Or if the flavor changes, what will you do? Will you be unhappy? Yes, you will be unhappy if you are depending on the mango style, particular variety of mango, particular taste of mango at a particular time you get it. If you don't get it, then you will be unhappy. That's why he says here, Sukham also is a type of bondage. So Badnati. And Jnana Sangena Cha Anagha. So Jnana Sangena Cha Anagha. So Jnana Sangha means it is connected with the knowledge also. Correct? Why? Because the knowledge which you are getting is reflected as Ananda. That means I am actually enjoying this particular state of being happy. It's a knowledge. So Jnana Sangam also is there. So Vritti will give you, number one is happiness, and happiness is reflected as a means of, as a knowledge. So what Krishna is saying to Arjuna is that understand the gunas. He doesn't say that you must not have this, you must not have this. See, he's a very politically correct person. He won't say anything contradictory. He will let you decide what you want to do. He will never say, the Upanishads will tell you that you are Muda. They will tell you this. You are ignorant person, you are Muda, everything they say. But here, he is just telling the qualities. Arjuna, these are the quality of Sattva Guna. It is Nirmalatva. It is of the nature of Prakashaka. It is Anamayam. And it is bound. It is binding knowledge. It will bring you Sukham, and the connection is Sukham. And it is also connected with knowledge also. So the knowledge of being happy is connected with the guna. You're able to follow, right? The knowledge of being happy is also a vritti. It's also an experience. I'm enjoying this experience. Today I'm enjoying this experience. Tomorrow I do not know. But today if you enjoy the experience, you want that experience tomorrow also, right? You also want it tomorrow. Can you say that tomorrow I don't want it? You also want it tomorrow also. Because we all want happiness to be shashvatam. We do not want any temporary sukham. We want permanent sukham. And the permanent sukham happens to be on an object of knowledge outside of you. It will always be a temporary happiness. Because the object will not be there. Why? Because the object is governed by limitation of time. So every object has got time limitation, correct? It has got spatial limitations. It can exist only in a space. It cannot be there all the time, same place, same time. It will move, it will change also. So that's why he says, do not place the happiness on these kind of objects which are outside of you. It is okay to have Sattva Guna, but understand Sattva Guna also will bind you. That means even Shastram also will bind you. He sometimes will say, Shastram you have to study for a long, long time. How long you have to study? Yes. But if you do not do, say, studies, or if you are come to a level of understanding when you know all of them, when you do not need to study anymore, and you study occasionally when you want to study because you're already steeped in knowledge. You already know what Brahma Vidya is. You already discovered what Brahman is. Tattvamasi, you already know about it. Pragyanam Brahma, you know already about it. All the Mahavakyams, you already know about it. You understood what it is. In such a case, keeping on holding on to the book, etc., and wherever you go, you have to take the book, etc., sometimes can be binding. The book is not there, you are helpless. Correct. So the book also is actually it's a sort of bindage. So you get bound. So he says, remove all those things which you think is bound. Once you have achieved a particular level of jnana, till such time you achieve that, you continue to hold on to it. So you'll have to hold on to the Guru, you'll hold on to the Shastram till you attain level of maturity, and after that you have to let go of the Shastram and the Guru also. Because he also should be, he or she should be free. Otherwise, he will also become bondage for you. What you will say, oh, without the Guru, what I will do? I don't know what I can say. If he's not there, I don't know what I will do. See, some people they ask you for everything, right? So I had to call, I had to check with the Guru everything. Some things you have to consult, but not like running your day-to-day life. If you want to buy a property, go and ask the Guru. If you want to get married, go and ask the Guru. If you want to buy some computer, you want to ask the Guru. So there are some people are overly dependent on Guru also, and that can also be a bandage because your life is governed by them now. You do not have an individual lifestyle also. You must approach only for spiritual knowledge, not like Vyavaharika knowledge. See, there are some, when we went to the Okaranda ashram also, Swamiji, can you tell me when my son will get married? He will say, see, I am a sannyasi. It is not I don't check Jyotishi. He says Jyotishi also, you can check. But it is not our preference to tell when you're getting married, etc. You'll get married when the time comes. Or you go and ask astrologer about this because that Jyotisham belongs to the particular level of field. So you should ask. You must not ask anybody anything, any question. Correct. So what it means is Satvikam also is a bondage. That's what it says here. Tatra sattvam nirmalatva prakashakamanāmayam sukha sanghena baddhati jnana sanghena chanaga. See, the anaga means, as I told you last class, anaga means sinless one. So it's a name for Arjuna. So mayanaga or anaga means sinless one or the person who cannot commit a sin. That's what Krishna says. Okay. Then, now we go into the verse 7. When it talks about the rajas, how rajas binds. Okay. Rajo ragatmakam viddhi Rajo ragatmakam viddhi Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Rajo ragatmakam viddhi Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Tannibaddhati kaunteya. Tannibaddhati kaunteya. Karma sangena dehinam. Tannibaddhati kaunteya. Karma sangena dehinam. Rajo ragatmakam viddhi Trishna sanga samudbhavam. Tannibaddhati kaunteya. Karma sangena dehinam. So, hey Kaunteya, or Kunti Putra, son of Kunti, may you know, Viddhi, may you know. Viddhi means to know. Okay. With this knowledge, and Viddhi means know. What do you know? Rajo. So you understand what Rajo is, or you better know what Rajas is. And what Rajas is? Ragatmakam. So it contains Ragatmakam, when you say, in the form of Raga. Not the Raga which is you sing the music Raga. Here Raga means the likes and dislikes. So Raga Dvesha. So Ragam here, Raga means here, it's supposed to be Ragatmakam means coloring of the mind. Or your mind gets shrouded, your clear mind gets shrouded with some sort of coloring. An example given here is, if you have a white cloth, the people who are in the dyeing industry, they will know. You always have to have a white cloth, then only you can put dye on that cloth. So you always put a color or had a color on a cloth, and then you make it a red color cloth. So the dye is actually the one which is applied on the cloth, the plain cloth, right? And the color represents now the superimposed dye on the white cloth. So the mind is supposed to be of the nature of white, or supposed to be clean. But when the ragatma means, or the desire, the likes and the dislikes come, what happens to the mind? The mind gets disturbed. The mind gets disturbed. And here the raga talks about here is the desire. The desire, or the particular need for something. It is okay to have a desire. It is not, Bhagavan doesn't say that you must not have a desire. It is wrong. See, if there's no desire required, then what is the point of living this life? You have to have a desire to live this life also. If you say, I don't have a desire to live this life, then you can't do anything about it. That's a silly question. But a desire to live a life is universal. Everybody lives to like to have to live. Some people like to live, some people like to live long, some people like to live long, long, long. So the desire also changes depending upon the person's perspective of what they want to achieve. So somebody will say, I want to live enough for me to understand, and once I am able, and it's perfectly okay. But someone will say, I want to live long life. So Dirgha Mayushu. So Dirgha means long life. Sometimes they say, why do you want to have a long life? They themselves don't know what they say. Long life, why do you want? Then a lot of things have to be done there. A lot of things to be completed in long life. So this is all the raga. See, when you say you got activity to do, that means you got so many things to do and you do not know how you're going to complete. That's why it says here ragatmakam. So this raga means this desire makes you rajasic. That's why it says here rajo ragatmakam viddhi. So this rajas guna, understand Arjuna, is arising from the nature of desire. And what does it do? Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. See, Trishna Asanga Samudbhavam means the cause of the longing. Trishna means like, it's a coloring, you can say, Trishna. Mriga Trishna, when you say here, that means it's like a mirage, it's like a covering which is there. And Asanga Samudbhavam means this is a cause of longing and well entrenched attachment. So Samudbhavaha means arising. Samudbhavaha means it definitely arises very well. Samudbhavaha. So Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi Trishna Asanga Samudbhavam. Then he says Tanni Badnati. So actually Tat Badnati. Tanni Badnati means what? Tat Badnati. That particular thing here. Tan Nibadnati. So you should use the word Nibadnati, not Badnati. So he says Tat Nibadnati. So what does it Nibadnati? Totally bind. See, we saw before in the previous verse in the Sattva Badnati, correct? It just binds. So the word binds is different from totally binds. So Nibadnati means what? It totally covers the mind. In the Sattvika Gunam, it doesn't completely bind. There is partial knowledge or there is knowledge being manifest. So there is some rational, thinking that, see, this is not right. So when I'm in a class, I must not watch TV. This is right. This is a knowledge, correct? Or I must not go out, or I must not do something else. This is partial knowledge available, and it is still binding knowledge. But when the Rajoguna comes, say you want to do something, it's a desire. See, I have to do this. I know I want to do this, but I have to do this also. So sometimes we have the situation where you have to do this also. So in such a case, what it does, it totally binds. So it completely shrouds your intellect. There is very little knowledge available for recognition, and it just lets you do what you really want to do. That's what. So that's why it says here, this Rajoguna is supposed to be more dangerous. Because Rajoguna, what does it do? It actually prompts you to make action. Correct? You want to do action, you are activity oriented. And any action you do will bring you two results, likes or dislike. So any action will bring you what? You like the action or dislike the action. So from your perspective, an action is something you like and you dislike. From the other person's perspective, whatever you liking will be disliked for the person. And whatever you dislike will be liked by the other person also. Correct? So because it need not be that whatever you like will be liked by the other person also. Remember. For everything which you like, there's a dislike also in somebody else. So how to understand this and how to read this is very important. Once you understand it, just like me, I am liking an object, there is somebody who will dislike me as a person also. So, and you do not have dvesha because just like I have negative attitude about the person, he may also have negative attitude about me also. So let me not have negative attitude. That way the person, if he has also, I do not have any bad feeling towards him. Whereas if you have a bad feeling to somebody, other person also will have the same feeling to you and you feel bad about it, right? You feel affected. But if you really say that I do not have any animosity towards the person, I do not hate that person, then even if the person hates you also, you do not feel bad about it because you already forgiven the person. Oh, you got the idea, right? Whereas if you carry the vengeance with you, I don't want to see this person at all in my life. I don't want to deal with the person. I don't want to entertain this quality with the person. Then whenever that object comes in front of you, you tend to react. This is called Ragatmakam. So Ragatmakam, what does it do? It binds you. So Trishna Asanga Samudbhavam. It takes you more into attachment. It becomes well entrenched in such attachment. Then Tad Nibadnati. So Nibadnati means it totally binds. It doesn't even have any scope for correction or sometimes also, because you just want to do it. So tad nibadnati kaunteya. So sattva guna stands for sophistication, learning atmosphere, and maturity, and this is bondage. But rajoguna, what does it do? Is it will actually take you to more bondage, deeper bondage, and it will bind you totally. So you be aware about the quality of guna. In terms of the sattvic guna, highest. So we have sattvic guna is supposed to be, if you are able to remain sattvic all the time, it's better. It is not possible unless you are studying shastram, you are doing some puja, or you are reading some textbook, or you are reading something which is relevant to what you like, which is not action oriented. You will be sattvic all the time. Like reading, your own profession, what you're doing, also sattvikam also. But rajasic activity means will be when you are completely shrouded by desire. So desire, what does it do? It actually shrouds your knowledge, correct? Whatever thing you heard about it, everything is gone out of the window now. Because now your raga dvesha is taking over. That, he says, will bind you. You will not be able to come out very quickly out of that. But if you have a strong background in the fundamentals of how to understand this, you will be able to dismiss it. Let's leave it. It's okay. I had a desire and I was getting affected by it. Now I understand it is of no use. I removed it. So you can come out of it very quickly also, because your knowledge is sattvikam again. Sattvikam is rising there all the time, and the wake of sattvikam, rajasic also disappears, or it reduces the intensity of it. That's what it says here. That ragatmakam tat nibadnadi kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. So karma sangha means what? Rajasic guna will make you karma. If you want to walk also, there's a benefit for it. You will get exercise. You will feel less, tired, or tamasic will not be there. If you want to eat, action, you feel good. If you want to read some topic, if you want to do some exercise, so all of them are rajasic activities. And it will give you, karma will be also sangaha, karma sangena. And how it is dehinam. So dehinam, when you say here, it covers the indweller. Dehinam, when you say here, it covers the indweller or kshetragya. So you can say dehinam is kshetragya. So it covers the consciousness, it covers the atma, and it makes you believe that this is the truth. Because when desire overtakes everything, you lose the ability to analyze the nitya anitya vastu viveka. So you are not able to see atma anatma viveka, will not be there. So what is atma, what is anatma is also not known to you. What is nityam anityam also is known to you, because now you are fully in control of desire. And desire will take you to other things. So what is desire? Kama. Right? So kama, krodha, moha, lobha, madha, matsaryam. So one by one, it will take you to the last step is jealousy. So when you are at the last step, only Bhagavan can cure you, nobody can cure you. When you have completely, be engulfed with all these things, only some miracle can help you. Bhagavan's grace is there, you will come out of jealousy. Otherwise, the person steeped in jealousy will always be jealous. How can you come out of it? Only when you understand jealousy is actually not useful to you. There's no point in getting jealous because it is not going to make anything to you. Only it will make you worse. So when you realize that, then jealousy also disappears. But as long as a person is under the control of this, it will make you binding. That's why it says nibadnati. So badnati means binding. Sattva binds. But this particular quality, this rajoguna, can bind you for a very long time. You will not even know that you are bound. You'll be busy doing activity after activity, karma after karma, karma after karma, enjoying punyam and papam, punyam and papam. So imagine that you get one activity, you do punyam. What do you want to do? See, nariya punyam kadichuttu, let me do one more activity. You do one more. You get punyam. Then in the process of doing that activity, you feel that I have incurred papam. Because as I told you what, karma is imperfect. See, karma is not perfect because karma is written with all sorts of rituals and practices which are very, very complex to manage. It is not practically for any person to follow 100% of what is in the rituals. It is not possible at all. If somebody says I am doing that, it's a really modified version of what has been taught and abridged version of what is possible in the current environment. If a person had to follow what is there in Shastram, he would not be able to live at all. The surrounding is not there. So what the Shastram says is, if you are not following the rituals as prescribed in the Shastram, then you will not get benefit. This is the clear verdict. It doesn't consider whether you are living in Australia, you are considered living in India or in some other country. It doesn't consider it. He says, you follow karma, do this. If you cannot do this, then expect there will be some defects coming out of the process. And the defects can actually bind you, it will cause you problems. So to correct that, what you do, dosha nivarti you do, right? So you do another puja, some Madhyar will come and say, see, I think Vastu Shanti Panam Rimba. Or some Shanti puja is required to be done, dosha nivarti puja. So Satyanarayana puja you do, or something else you do to correct that. So you get again some punyam there. Again you do for a lot of things, again something again. So this keeps doing it. So what it tells here is this tat badnati kaunteya karma sangena. So due to the association of the karma, this conceals the dehinam or the atma, the consciousness or the indweller of that. Because atma is what? Akarta. Consciousness is akarta. It doesn't do anything activity. But due to the association of the consciousness with the mind, the ahankara rises, and the ahankara makes you develop the desire, acquire the quality of raga, rajas guna, and due to rajas guna, you get associated with all the karmas. Karmas will give you punyam, papam. Punyam, papam will give you what? More activities. More activities means you will end up entire life. 100 years is not enough for you. So you pass away one day, halfway, so many bank balance, punyam, papam, what will you do with that? You again have to come back. See, your punyam, papam, I cannot enjoy, nor anybody can enjoy. Only you can enjoy. No, he says, na punyam manna, somebody else will enjoy. No, your punyam only you can enjoy. Your papam also only you can enjoy. Because even Valmiki also was a robber, that, right? Once upon a time he was stealing and he came across Narada. And he says, give me all of them. Narada says, why are you stealing from me? So I'm a Brahmana. He says, I don't really care if Brahmana or not. I have to go and feed my wife. My family is waiting there, and unless I rob you, I will not get any income, and I have to go and feed my wife. So he says, you go and ask your wife that out of the income which you're generating, will they take any papam for you? They're eating the fruits, they're eating all the right. But he says, if at all you have any papam, can you offload some papam to your wife? So he goes and asks his wife, see, I'm stealing every day from all the people, I'm giving you food, I'm giving you cloth, etc. She says, yeah, that is your dharma, you're protecting me, that's not okay. Because I married you, you're protecting, what the great thing you're doing there. I'm looking after the children, I'm looking at the house, etc. Then he says, when I met this one Brahmana, and he said that, what I'm doing is adharma. That is, I'm stealing somebody and giving to you. And in the process of doing that, I'm incurring papam. So will you take 50% of papam? The wife says, no, I won't take. Says, why should I take your papam? He said, that yours is yours. So then he realizes. So what it's trying to tell you is that the person continues to, luckily for Valmiki, he made Narada, a Brahmana. Teacher was there. Supposing you don't meet anybody, you meet people of the same like-minded people who are more into desire and everything else. You will be in competition and you will be running a rat race forever. That's why it says here, karma sangena dehinam. So this will completely cover, it will hide the consciousness, it will hide the atma, and you will be forever binded. So this is more dangerous. That's what it says here. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. So now he goes to now explain what tamas is. Tamasat jnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadhalasya nidhrabir tannibadhnati bharata. So here the word Bharata is used. There Kaunteya is used. So Kaunteya Bharata means the son of Bharata or descendant of Bharata Kula. So Bharata or Arjuna. Vidhi. So same also, there also Vidhi. So may you know. What do you know? Tamas. So tamas tu Vidhi. So may you know what tamas is. So may you know what rajas is. May you know what Satvikam is. So he now explains what is tamas, what is rajas, and what is Satvikam. So tamas here is tamas tu Vidhi ajnanam. See the word? Tamas tvam ajnanam vidhi. So ajnanam means it is ignorance or it is born of ignorance. Jnanam means knowledge. Ajnanam means born of ignorance. Then what does it do? Mohanam. So mohanam means it actually causes delusion. Mohanam means is a delusion, causes you confusion, delusion. Then sarvadehinam. So this tamas is the nature of covering everything. Like the rajasic guna to some extent, it does cover everything. But in the process of doing the karma, you are aware that you are doing something to Bhagavan. Say you are doing some prayer or you are doing some donation or opening temple, constructing temple, etc. There is an activity going on. There is some amount of Satvikam is there, but Rajasic is very prominent. I mean, the person cannot sit there. He has to do something or the other. Like I told you the example, right? Sometimes, in satsang, etc., I go, everybody will be chanting, Nama Sankirtanam. Everybody will be there. People will be busy closing their eyes, etc., and it will go on. A couple of people will be there, they are very restless. So their eyes are always on the door. Who is going to come? So everybody will be closing their eyes, this person will be awake. So because the justification is that somebody has to come. See, when everybody is busy in Nama Sankirtanam, etc., you don't need people come, they will come. They don't want to come, they will not come. They ring a bell, you can go but they will look at a door, or they will look at other people who are doing there, whether they are watching or not. Then you will get up. I'll serve water to these people. So you go and get, they didn't ask for water, but I would like to serve water. So this person will go and get water serving, etc. So what it means, these are all rajasic qualities. They cannot sit there for some time. They have to get up sometime. Then they'll go and the prasadam is ready or not, they'll go and check it. Or all these things are actually rajasic because the Satvikam is there for some time. Rajasic is more. But in Rajasic also, there is an activity performed for the benefit of society. Correct? The benefit is for the satsangis who are present there so that they are taken care of and they are not getting disturbed. Somebody is coming there, makes you sit here, you sit there, all these things are being told. Or you want a book, or this is what you're doing, so you give all the paper, etc. Somebody is still there. So there are people who do this, and they are not Satvikam because they are Rajasic oriented. Their body is like this. They cannot sit idle. So you cannot do anything with this people. So what it says is that activity also is good, but it also binds you, but it doesn't bind you to the extent of tamas guna. So in the order of reality, sattvam is higher, rajasic is lower, and tamasic is the lowest, adama guna. So prathama guna, madhyama guna, adama guna. So here, what does it says here? So mohanam. So ajnanam, mohanam. So ajnanam, because of ignorance, it leads you to delusion. Delusion means not knowing what to do. So unclear about what you want to do. See, rajasic, there is a clarity. You want to do this. But in tamasic nature, see, so especially when you're having a good food or when you're really tired and you want to go to some place and somebody asks you, even getting clothes from outside, putting the clothes for drying, what do you say? I'll do it. I'll do it later. Right now I'm not in the mood to do that. When? Later. So later means what? Later. So later means at that time you do not want to do because you are in such a state of mind that you just don't want to do anything. Because ajnanam is there and delusion is there. And what does it do? Pramada alasya nidrabihi. See, pramada alasya. So pramada means what? Indifference. So you don't really care. People say whatever they want to do. I have sat on the sofa now. I have now reconciled to this fact and I'm not going to go out from here. So what people may come and tell you whatever you want, it doesn't matter to me. Indifference. So you don't really bother. Because your body doesn't let you do this. Tamoguna is rising. What will you do? So indifference. So pramada. Alasya. Laziness. So laziness will creeps. Because when you're indifferent, when you say indifferent, you don't, so let me just relax. So alasya, or you are very, very sloppy, slothfulness comes into existence. Then nidra. So when you are indifferent, when you are very lazy, don't want to do anything, what do? You slide onto the couch further and further. Initially you are sitting up, right now, and you are just stretching your leg there. Like we have a sofa in our house. That's called a sleepy sofa. So anybody who goes there, we don't sit there because anybody who goes there, they will just slide down there. If somebody doesn't want to do any activity, you can go and sit there. It means the sofa is so comfortable. When you stretch your leg, immediately you start to slide down. Because the head starts to go, body starts to go down. Then the body, initially this body will go down, then the head will go down. Finally you are flat. So nidrabi. So it says what? Laziness. So pramada alasya nidrabihi. Nibadnati bharata. So it says this binds you. So when your tamasic guna is rising very high, then you feel very sleepy. You try to be awake. You close your eyes like this. You try to do all these things, can't blink the eyes many times, but you feel sleepy, you cannot do anything about it. Whatever you try to do, you just want to sleep. There are some in school also sometimes happens. I don't know, Suresh knows or not. Sometimes when teachers are getting boring or language is very boring, you tend to sleep or you don't tend to focus on anything. You look outside, what's happening there. So same thing also, tamasic nature comes in. You become indifferent, you do not pay attention, then you tend to sleep. So nibadnati. So pramada alasya nidrabihi. So nidra means sleep. Then tannibadnati bharata. So this is how tamasic quality binds. So he has given all the three qualities required. I mean, this is there in so pramada, when you say here, it is incapacity to do what one knows is to be done. So pramada means incapacity to do what one should be done. He doesn't have the capacity to do it. So even, an example I can give you is, say if you want to iron your shirt, you very well know that you can iron your own shirt. But somehow what do you do? Can you please iron my shirt? Is my shirt ready? Is my everything ready? So you ask, because you don't want to go up there, start the iron, put the clothes and iron it. So you wait for somebody. So it becomes a practice. And you want a coat to be given to you, you want a shirt to be given to you, you want lunch box to be given to you, you want everything to be packed for you because you don't want to do anything. You just sit there and everything comes. And there are dedicated people up there. It's like, Yes, Srikanji? You got a question, Srikanji?
Yeah, sir, I put it in the chat.
Put it where? In the chat.
Yes, sir.
Procrastination is the correct word. So procrastination also is tamasic. Because you don't want to do that activity. You know how to do it, but you are not interested. So you keep pushing that activity. You're not interested in that. Sometimes not interested is different thing. Sometimes not willing to do also different. Pramada means what? That you are not interested, you don't want to do the job. So pramada. So you have the capacity to do it, but you are showing that you don't have the capacity to do it. It's incapacity. Alasya means what? You're just not interested. Yeah? Just not interested. So lazy. So you just don't want to do that job at all. And tamasic quality brings this. Because later on in chapter, I think 16 or 17, I think 17, he talks about the food as the main ingredient. How food actually shapes your thought. So why do we have satvikam food and why don't have rajasic food? Like there are some foods which will make you very rajasic, like onion, garlic, anything which is pungent. So these things actually will make you very active because it has got contents in that which will energize your body and it will make you do more activities. So every food has got three qualities. Any food you eat has got three. So satvikam gets stored in the sensual parts of it. The rajasic goes into the blood and it starts to make activities. The tamasic one literally doesn't do anything, it becomes fat. It just sits there and you become just, like a couch potato. You're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why food is very important. Aharam is very important. So our people are very, in the olden days, how people are living for such a long life is because they were following systematic diet. They will not eat just because they want to eat. They will eat particular type of food only, particular day, particular time, and only particular number of times they'll eat. They will not change their diet just because they're interested. They will not regular. So they have a long life because the food actually makes them stay longer and healthier. And that's very important. Same thing he talks about here. He talks about the activity. What activity makes you tamasic, what makes you rajasic, and how does it actually affect your intelligence? So when you're tamasic in nature, you don't want to listen to anything. You don't want to do action. You're not sattvic, because sattvic means reading a book also important. Shastra book, Bhagavad Gita book will be. Some people, when they start reading the Bhagavad Gita book, they feel sleepy. Because when there are some also I've seen when they start talking, they will immediately go to sleep. Some Swamiji will come. See, Omkaranda will come. Paramarthananda will be speaking there, or part wouldn't come. So the phone will be on the chest. It will be here, and the person will be fast asleep. Sometimes I'll tell, Paramarthananda is going on there, Omkaranda is going on there. So he doesn't know because he is recording. The person is recorded and somebody is listening. So tamasic guna is already taken over, and that 2-hour class is still going on. But the person is already asleep, fast asleep for the next 10 minutes, he's already gone. So sometimes you go and switch off. I said, no, I'm listening. You will see people also sometimes you go and switch off the TV. No, I'm listening. I'm having the dialogue, listening the dialogue. Their eyes are completely closed. They are not watching TV at all. You know that they are fast asleep. But you go and switch off the TV. You say, why did you switch off the TV? So, no, you're all fast asleep. I don't see you there. No, I'm listening to dialogue now. Dialogue. How can you listen to dialogue when you're asleep fast? But because they switch off the TV only, they will know something going on there. Very lazy. They don't want to get up and switch off the TV also. That lazy. So tamasic nature brings you this. Means inactivity. So pramada, alasya, nidra. And this happens in everybody. It's not only every one of us has got it. Like after this class, we'll become tamasic because whole day we have been working. We have been studying Shastram, we have been writing notes, or going out here and there, activity after activity. So the body needs rest. So another class after this will make, sir, I can't do this. So you become tamasic. So that's what it says here, that all these activities are bound. Another example I can also give you is there are people, the Fridge Bhagavan is there in everybody's house. So Fridge Bhagavan is actually an example of tamasic nature. Because in the olden days, we never had fridge. So when I go to my mom's house in India, she doesn't have a fridge. So when I go in the morning, she'll ask, are you going to eat lunch today? Are you going to eat dinner today? You'll ask. Because sometimes I get students come there, or I go to somebody's house. So why are you asking this question every day? No, because I don't have a fridge. And I don't like to keep anything like a paredu for next day. So she will not have anything which is next day carry forward. Because there's no fridge there. Fridge Bhagavan is not there. So you cannot put anything in there, take out anything there. So for her, this recycling is only for that day. So preparing food for that day, eating, and if you don't, it'll go out. Waste. She will not pay out. So if I come on that day, there will be no food also sometimes. You told me you're not coming. You're coming now here. So it is particular. But in our place, Fridge Bhagavan is Mahatma there. So what do? You don't want to cook every day. So what do? You just prepare the food for the whole week. So Sunday you spend time, you prepare one aloo matar, one, this one, you just prepare everything, chapati, frozen, everything frozen. Prepare that and, and then you take it one day. Everything comes out. Right? So like Friday is actually the day for culmination, it's a D-Day. So Monday activity will come, Friday everything will come, all sponsored utensils will come. See, in my own house also it happens. Friday is a cleaning day for us because we take everything out. Something will be hidden at the back, something in the front. So when you start taking out, you'll know there is some sambar there, some shundal will be there, some kuttu will be there, some curry will be there. So Friday becomes all, put everything into the fire, big one, and it will become new dish. Something. Nobody knows what it is. It will be a mixture of all. It'll add some salt, some karam, etc. Some, do that. I'm pretty sure you all know about it. So this something. So this is not alasi. What I'm saying, there are people who are specifically doing this. They don't like to cook. I can't cook like this. So they just prepare the whole weekend. So the food also loses taste. If you cook for the whole week and if you eat it, the essence of the food also reduces. But it's all shortcut. That's what it says here. Just to a lighter side. Tamasic nature brings this kind of attitude. And it is in all of us at some point of time. But what the Bhagavan says here is that tamasic quality is there, but try to reduce the tamasic quality and move towards rajasic little bit. And try to develop sattvic quality by involving your rajasic also. So you do activities which are helping you to develop sattvic qualities by doing rajasic, being rajasic. Not by going out for a movie, etc., or enjoying Belpuri or those things, not that. They are rajasic activity. He says, do activities which are relevant for you, which will actually help you to focus this. You got the idea? So he just is a very polished guy. He doesn't say anything. I am adding extra things just to give you a little bit of more information because this is what we see every day also. So in the verse he says, this is what are the qualities. So Arjuna aware about it. Do with thee. See this? So he says with thee. Always he says, may you know. So with thee mohanam sarva dehinam. So pramada alasya nidhrabhihi tannibadhnati bharata. So this is how these three things bind. So the two things, tamas and rajasic, he says tannibadhnati, means this will bind you. If you're getting used to the laziness, you will become lazy, like going for walking. So if you don't like to walk, or if like tomorrow I'll see, tomorrow we'll go for a walk. Then tomorrow will become 1 week, 1 week will 1 month, 1 will become 1 year. Then you put on weight, you cannot do anything. So it's not procrastinating, it's just that laziness. You have to wear shoes, you have to wear jumper, then you have to go, you have to look for company. How long you have to walk, it will be boring, all the things. So it starts. So all these are activities. They are related to tamasic activities. Have you got any questions from today's class? Anyone has got before we conclude?
Ji, Bhagavan also makes use of all these three gunas then. For the creation of the world, he makes use of Rajoguna.
See, Bhagavan's creation is through Maya. Ours is through Prakriti. See,
So
Bhagavan's
Prakriti,
avatara is through Maya. And Maya is actually, doesn't have these three gunas.
Three gunas.
Okay, see, that's why he's not affected by it. See, that the magician is not affected by the gunas, correct? But the person on whom magic does is affected by it. Is it correct?
Yeah.
See, the magician can perform any magic. He's not affected by all the likes and dislikes. He is not worried about what's happened to him because he's not affected by it. But the person on whom the magic works is affected by it. So if we are going to the magic show, we are affected by all the problems which we are facing. Whereas the magician is actually beyond this. That's why the Bhagavan is actually free from all these things. He is not affected by all these things. He comes out of his own Maya and he also disappears, leaves out of his own Maya. It's only an appearance. The form is not affected by it. Is it clear, Raji?
Yeah. Thank you.
Shankarji, can I ask one question?
Yeah, sure, please.
You said for Rajasic Guna, the most important, the cardinal thing is activity, and Tamasic, the most important thing is laziness. Like that, is there one thing that defines the Sattvic?
No, Sattvikam generally means that you tend to be very happy, highly elated, and you are mostly is connected to anything which makes you very happy. See, sleeping will make you happy. I know that. I mean, so some people sleeping.
Yeah, that's right. So
happy.
happiness there are different definitions.
Definition.
I sort of know what you're saying. I get the feel of it, but is there anything that describes it, that defines it?
Okay, happiness in Sattvic Gunam talks about culture, highly cultured, sophisticated, and intellectual, spiritual, religious. These things are all connected with Sattvikam.
Okay.
So when Sattvikam is there, you feel very, very motivated, and you feel that you want to be, doing something which is very good for you. So you may be interested in chanting, singing, dancing, reading, spiritual books. All these things will come to you. These are Sattvika qualities. So Sattvikam is morely to do with gunas towards the Bhagavan, towards the anything which makes you comes close to the Bhagavan is Sattvika.
Not for yourself. So it's either for other people or for Bhagavan. Okay.
So mainly you do this. See, the quality in you rises for yourself because you feel ananda, you feel happy by doing something. Correct. So you feel that you feel happy about it. Oh, if I serve food to the temple, I'm happy about it. Or if I read something for somebody, I feel happy about it. So the happiness is actually related to something which is makes you very happy about it. And it is mostly connected to this kind of happiness. So Sattvikam is most to do with these, aesthetic pleasures, which are that's what's important.
Okay.
The other things, the other happiness, Rajoguna, is also happiness. It also brings happiness. But the happiness is something related. I want him to be happy. So let him know that, I'm doing something for him and he should feel. So the happiness is something different.
Okay.
So the happiness level varies from
I understand.
From activity to activity. In Tamasic quality, happiness is completely different because there you just want to be happy because you don't want to do anything at all. So it's a different activity level. So Sattvikam is higher. That's why we always say try to rise towards Sattvikam always. So Sattvikam will give you the control to be also understanding what Tamasic is and how Rajasic is.
Okay.
So if you are Rajasic, you will not know Sattvikam because Rajasic activity will overpower Sattvikam. And Rajasic activity will overpower Tamasic. Eventually, Rajasic will make you Tamasic because you cannot be running all the time. You will be tired.
Correct. Mm.
Whereas
That's
Sattvikam,
classical what happens.
correct. So Sattvikam, like you don't see, you're not doing it. Mostly is mental. See, you can study, you can just listen something. It doesn't make you too much tired. And once you are into that particular mode, like see, if I can teach for 9 hours a day, or I can sit in satsang for 9 hours a day, it doesn't make you tired. But if I run around, imagine if I go to 9 temples a day, physically my body will be tired. I cannot do it anymore. Correct. So,
correct.
whereas you could, these kind of activities can make you train better. That's what it says here.
Okay.
Develop Sattvikam qualities, because this is going to help the person sit and meditate, contemplate on the truth. Whereas when you're just running around, you are always guided by objects around. And the objects keep flitting around and your focus is not on any particular thing. So you say Rajasic is a less importance. And Tamasic you should avoid. Unless at night you have to go to sleep, there's no choice. So Tamasic is okay. But generally try to avoid, being very lazy with Tamasic or the qualities. So it just gives the gradation order how a Satsangi should behave. So Satsangi should be more Sattvikam, less Rajasic and less Tamasic.
Okay.
So some people sleep for 6 hours a day. Some people will say, I can't, 10 hours, I have to sleep 10, 11 hours a day I have to sleep. Some people have to sleep 11 hours a day and they have to sleep 3 hours a day in the afternoon also. Then only they become active. Some people, 4 hours a day is enough. 5 hours is enough in a day because they sleep well and they do not have any disturbance, any dreams, etc. Some they go to sleep at 8:30, 8:45 and then they toss around, have dreams. Then 1 o'clock they go to sleep, they watch TV. After they wake up in the morning, all these are all not Sattvic activities. So go to sleep at a particular time, get up in the morning, have a lifestyle, and this is all will give you Sattvic activities. So that's why our culture is different compared to the other countries. Is it clear, Himaji?
Yes, it is.
Gopalji, have you got any questions? All okay. Jayama, are you related to Radhaji? Is it? Radha, is this your friend? Jayama?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She's my friend, and she was a student of Swamini also.
Oh, I see.
We used to go for satsang only in her place.
Oh, in Coimbatore?
Coimbatore. She's now in Coimbatore. She was there in Chicago.
Okay.
So 2-3 days back only she went back to Coimbatore.
Okay. Welcome to the class, Jayama. I'm very happy to see you also. It's good. Okay. Sridharji, any questions you got? All okay. Okay. So if there are no more questions, we'll conclude the class and we'll meet again the next opportunity comes. As I told you, next Monday, we're starting a new Tamil literature class. The first topic is called Shivanyana Bodham. So if anybody has got time to attend, you can attend. I'll try my best to give you both Vyakyanam in Tamil and English because sometimes the language will be too difficult. So we'll try to give you the definition both in English and Tamil as well as possible so that you understand the whole concept behind it. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste. Shubhratri to all of you. Hari Om.
Thank you, sir.